Okay, back for another day. I'm already sweating. I just finished summer school, changed into some athletic clothes. It's like raining here, but nothing to complain about because it's been so hot. So the rain will hopefully break the heat. So I thought, what a better day to come sort through all of these books. So we're gonna start with bin 1. Luckily, she labeled them, the teacher that I took the classroom from. So I know what each box has in it, but I feel like kids should have access to these books and they shouldn't just be sitting in boxes in the bathroom. So we're gonna kind of sort them, and then I'm gonna figure out the shelves over here of how I can have a lot of these books out. Even if, you know, Halloween isn't a theme that's happening right now, I feel like they should still be out. So here we go. Okay, I've gone through the first stack of back to school, but then there was like 100th day in it, so I don't know about that. But then this book, you can see that it's been very well loved. Every page has been taped back in, and so I don't like to throw books away, but like I don't know if I really want this out because it's just not the best quality book to be loved on again. So I'm thinking I might make a pile of books that I could give to kids at the beginning of the year. So like I have multiples of a lot of these that I just realized. Like Tom Goes to Kindergarten. There's 3 of them. 1 is like falling apart and super faded, and 2 are kind of nicer. So I'm thinking maybe if we have an open house, I could put some of these books out for kids to kind of take home and love at home. Okay, I also just found this book that I remember having in elementary school and loving. It's Tiptoe into Kindergarten and this other kindergarten book. So that's exciting. I think I'm gonna put these out on that bookshelf thing that I have. And so it's kind of nice to be able to go through and see which ones will be worthy of like putting out as the theme, and then which ones can kind of be on the shelves. Okay, another one that I remember from school, which I'm also like, maybe if I read these in school, they're a little outdated, but like, does anyone else remember these little books, the Hello Readers? I know that they're good for kids to learn how to read, and there's a bunch of them that makes it accessible for kids to browse, but these are definitely ones that I would just put in a basket and label at school instead of putting out in the bookshelf. Okay, I can't get over some of these. Does anyone else remember the Black Lagoon? Like the teacher from the Black Lagoon, the librarian from the Black Lagoon. And these are definitely like school, but I also feel like these would be cool to put out at like Halloween as like a scary theme. And so I think what I'm gonna do with these is put them in like a scary themed basket. That way if kids ever want to read a scary book, they can go to these, and then I'll display them and feature them during Halloween season. Okay, here's some other ones I just found. Miss Nelson is missing. Miss Nelson is back. These have been loved, like fully loved, but classics, right? Again, I don't think these are really back to school books. And then there's also this one that like wants your teeth. So I think I'm gonna also put these in like, I don't know, scary-ish. They're not very scary, but I don't think they want to be like back to school of like who's gonna be at school and stuff like that. So okay, so I have a bunch of these buckets that I have just had since I started teaching, and the downside is the books don't really fit in them. You kind of have to put them diagonal, but I might try and make this work because I have a ton of these and I don't want to go buy different buckets if I don't have to, because that's the last thing I want to be spending my extra money on. So this is what I was talking about. They're in here, and like these ones would definitely go this way, but the bigger books won't. And so they're kind of diagonal in there, but this is what I'm envisioning on the shelf for now. And I just put the kindergarten ones in there that I'm gonna put on the bookshelf itself for now so that they're separated. Okay, here, I'm going through all the books on butterflies, and I'm about ready to tell you why I don't want to teach a unit on just butterflies, so please don't come after me. Okay, here's why I'm really torn, because I know butterflies is a theme that so many kindergarten teachers do, but I kind of like to break the mold, and I don't have butterflies in the sense planned for the year. I have a lot of just like different things. I'm using a lot of the Not Your Average Units from Lunisha Tab and Naomi O'Brien, and like this is the average units of kindergarten, and I don't want to be average. So I gotta figure out how I'm gonna fit in these. I'm doing a big unit on plants and animal needs, but I don't know. I'm really torn because this isn't like the route I'm going, and there's so many books for caterpillars and butterflies. And the next one up is pumpkins, and like I'm gonna do a Not Your Average Pumpkin unit, but not the like traditional pumpkins life cycle. I mean, I definitely will teach that, but you know, trying to like, it's hard coming from 5th grade where everything is so like complex, and we talk about like governments and how laws and governments are run and everything, and then you come down and you're like, butterflies. I mean, I'm really excited for it, but it's kind of hard to kind of make that mindset change. I mean, like, this other one is apples, and so I am going to do Not Your Average Apple unit, and so some of these will work, but it's not the average unit that everyone does for apples. So I have a lot of books for the typical apple unit, the typical butterflies unit, and pumpkins and all of that stuff, but I'm going to be trying to break the mold here. So I'm going to see how all of these butterfly books fit into the plants. Okay, also like I was saying, I know the Kissing Hand is like a huge back to school. It's usually done in like kindergarten. My mom's a kindergarten teacher and she's been doing it forever. And so there was this thing, and I love them. They're cute, so I'm gonna keep them. But are these sequels to them? I've never seen these before. They're all by the same people, and it was just in this unit of all together. So these might just go with animals, like, and these I'm definitely gonna probably put in like my own stash of like books that I teach from. I like to keep picture books that I teach from a little bit separate than what's out for browsing. So, but this is kind of cool. I didn't know there was like a series of Kissing Hand books. They're very cute. So maybe I'll keep these out for like teaching themes as well. Okay, some of these Halloween books that just popped up are really bringing back memories. So obviously a really good one. I've actually used this before in 5th grade. But Pumpkin Jack, this is definitely going in the pile for teaching picture books to keep out. So is this one. But Five Little Pumpkins, I think I had this book when I was little. And then one that just really sparked the nostalgia is the Joy Crowley. Like, this is what guiding reading used to be, like the Sunshine books. These are so old. I had these in kindergarten, 1988. So it's like, I don't know. Obviously I'm gonna keep it because it's like a great little story, but we're far past teaching with these. So but this was a good pile. It had some pumpkin books and then some more to add to that scary pile that I was making. Like, this one looks super fun. So I'm definitely excited to put these as a group and put them into like the Halloween scary. But like, some kids, they love Halloween, and so I think being able to read these if they wanted to on the shelf during the year, and then I'll definitely go pick from these and display them and feature them on, I don't know if you can see it, but back here is one of those like bookshelves that people have. So this one's cute, Twisted Sisters. So I thought these were cute, like Halloween scary, but in teaching kids about themes and genres and all that stuff, I feel like these types of books should be always accessible to them and not just out during Halloween. So by making different themes, this is all like Halloween scary, like I keep mentioning, but I've been able to downsize the apples and the pumpkins, which could probably be one bucket on their own, which is really exciting to downsize, but also very similar teaching themes for them to go in the same bucket together. Okay, so I have successfully cleaned one of these out. And I didn't really think this through because I don't know what I'm gonna do with these totes. Now that they're going to be empty, we'll have to see what I decide to do with them. And maybe I can put some of my chapter books that I have from 5th grade in the totes and kind of store them better in my team room. But so far, I feel like I'm making progress. I just haven't also gone through the shelves to figure out where these are going, but I feel like this is an important step to kind of go through and see what books I have, and this is the pile that I'm going to put out for kids to take home. I've started to weed out books that I can teach with, which will be really helpful to kind of put in a filing cabinet and have by themes, and then some books that unfortunately have been just way too loved, and I'm gonna recycle them. Okay, when I say super organized, like this is how I have found most things in the classroom, like so organized. However, I just did find one of these and it has chapter books in it, and I'm like, I would love for a kindergartner to be reading chapter books. I definitely was borderline that as a kid myself, but like, I don't need any more chapter books, but I'm excited about these animal ones. So like I mentioned earlier, I don't plan on going the traditional route of the units that they usually do, and so I know bears is one that's huge that they shared, old teammates on kindergarten shared that they do, but I look at the standards and what that's actually asking kids to master, and then build a more engaging, collectively combined unit with all of the other standards in it. And so one of the topics is all about plants and animal needs and how they survive environments. So I can use bears, but I feel like this is a book that kids should just be reading. Yes, it's bears, but like, why are we keeping it in a tote where no one can read it? So I'm really excited about some of these. Like, I heard these are great books. Mother Bruce, I'm really excited. So we're gonna pull these out, and like, this is obviously something I could use to teach that unit, and like different types of environments, and like, kids would love to read these. So I'm really excited to go through these and kind of find out what we can take out of this bear unit and use to teach about bears, but also, once again, go to the not your average units of social studies and science. Okay, here I am weeding out books that I can use to teach the actual science standards in my unit, and then other ones that can be put out for kids to browse and read all of the time. Even though they have to do with bears, they can still be books that kids are enjoying all year round. Okay, I just came across this book, Teddy Bear's Picnic, and I vividly remember this being one of those listening station books, and my mom had this in her classroom, and I used to hang out there all the time, obviously, but it was like a song almost. And they had it on tape, like the little cassette tape, and you would go to the listening station, Teddy Bear Picnic. And I feel like I should keep this because it's so nostalgic, but I'm also not sure where it fits in because it's teddy bears, not bears, and I'm confused on, am I teaching real bears, polar bears, fictional bears, or pandas? Like, that's the part I'm talking about of like, some of these are just stories that have bears in them, and which is great for kids to be exposed to like them, but if I want to teach actually about bears in their environment, I wouldn't want to use this. But this is a good comparison between a regular bear and a polar bear. So I'm trying to divide them up between different topics, and so that's fine. But these ones are really cute. But these are also stories that I think that kids should have all the time. So we'll see how this kind of plays itself out with all of these bear books. So then I come across this book, Big Brown Bear's Cave, and if you read the description, it's all about story of friendship. So I feel like we do these character traits through the Positivity Project, and this is definitely one that I could tie into and really make a lesson out of this. And so I don't want to keep it in the bear section. I would want to put it in like the teaching theme book. And then the new bear at school, I feel like this could go in back to school to kind of go with it. And then this one was more of like what bears eat and stuff like that. So I feel like that needs to switch. And then this one is leaves, which is fall, and this one is spring. And yes, they're bears, but I don't know. That's the thing right now, is I'm kind of stuck. Okay, with bears, I've narrowed it down to like regular brown bears that I'm gonna label just bears. Then Berenstain Bears, there was quite a few, so I'm gonna make it like a themed basket. And then this is all polar bears, but I didn't want to put it with regular bears, so we'll have polar bears and bears, and I'll put them on the shelf next to each other. But next up we have some penguins, Martin Luther King, which of them, I think this is Groundhog's Day, gingerbread, and then randomly Mexico, which I'm not quite sure. Mexico, and I have a Not Your Average like about the history of Cinco de Mayo, so I'm excited to see this one, and that there's Mexico books, but like, why is Skippy John Jones in with Mexico? Maybe I just and dragons love tacos. I feel like that's very, I don't know, not great to put dragons and tacos in just because it's tacos with Mexico and Skippy John Jones in Mexico. Yeah, so I mean, this is in Spanish. I don't know, are they gonna read Spanish? Oh, this is cool. I like this one. Okay, then this is Goldilocks, which I know I have to teach like fairy tales and stuff, but I'm not sure how this fits in. I don't know what those are. Oh my gosh, I was obsessed with this book when I was a kid. I had this book and it was one of my favorites. And then Seasons, which, cute books, but a lot of Goldilocks and the Three Pandas. I'm probably just gonna put these out and have like Goldilocks be a basket because there's so many, and why not? Okay, so this might be me not thinking it through, but I'm pretty sure Valentine's Day is around the same time as Groundhog's Day. And if I am wrong, well, that's embarrassing. But I'm pretty sure Groundhog's Day is like the first week of February, and then Valentine's is obviously the 14th, so I might put all of these books out at the same time. And put them all in a bucket that says February. And then I'm kind of sad because this is all we have for Martin Luther King. And my plan is to do a unit on Black history for whole Black History Month. And so your girl's gotta find more books than this because that's kind of sad. I definitely have some other like people from Black history that I can put out, but I wish I had more. And then I also started thinking I might take one of these buckets and just kind of do it by month, perhaps. That way, like, Valentine's Day isn't always on the shelf, because I feel like that's not one that needs to always be on the shelf. But if I could have like one bucket that has September to June in it of the themes, like holidays and stuff, then I don't have 5 buckets, I would only have 1, and I'm down for that. Okay, so I just got up after working for 2 buckets, and you can definitely see where I was sitting. I have made piles completely all the way around me, so now I'm gonna get up and organize this a little. Luckily, I have all of these plastic containers, and I was even thinking of using like extra ones of these on the shelves with books. Not to mention I've gone through these books, but I also have to go through all of these. And the goal is to clear off all of these shelves and not have anything on them. So this is a lot of work. All right, so I've started with back to school, and then we have fall leaves, Thanksgiving, Christmas, holidays around the world, winter, this is like snow, and then it'll be January time, so Black History Month, which will go into February for Black History Month. February is Groundhog's Day and Valentine's Day, and usually the 100th day of school. Then I have a gingerbread unit, but it also, in this time span, will be Women's History Month a little bit, St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo, which I'm really excited. I have a unit for that. Then we'll be doing environments and plants and animals needs, and then the last day of school. So we got this. Over here is some seasons and senses. These are random books that are just like browsing books, and then these are the other themes that I have going. I have a lot of Jambrette, and I love Jambrette, so she's gonna be in her own bucket. But yeah, so we're starting to get there. I still have to go through all of those over there and see how they fit into these. And then this is a book for donations. I might actually just bring these to Goodwill instead of trying to get rid of them here at school, and just drop them off at Goodwill, because there's not ever good like kids books at Goodwill, so that might be good. And then this is a small pile of books that I think could be like lessons, so I'm gonna keep them out to be able to go through them and then fit them into the themes. Okay, I'm over here kind of in the bathroom because they are literally standing outside the windows on the playground right now watching me. But I have successfully gotten down to one bucket. I have to be out of here around like 2:45, 3. And so I have one more bucket that I think I'm gonna go through. I would love to get through that bucket, but it has chapter books in it. I don't know what I'm doing with those right now, but we're getting there. So I have one more bucket I'm gonna go through. Okay, some interesting finds in this. Some Cat in the Hat, Dr. Seuss. I know there's a lot of controversy with Dr. Seuss, but they're good rhyming books for kids. And then weirdly, a whole section on cats, but they're all Pete the Cat, besides like 3. So a bucket on cats maybe. I might just put Pete the Cat and then mix those in. And then weirdly, also a ton of books on Easter. I know Easter is like a Hallmark holiday really, kind of sometimes, but it is a Christian holiday, and this book has crosses on it, and I don't think I will cover Easter, and I don't know if it's not a holiday that everyone celebrates, because if I wanted to do Easter, then I would also do the equivalent in the Jewish holiday, but I don't know if that's like a kindergarten thing. That really needs to be happening. So these, I don't really know, might just come out in the spring, but I also might not put these fully out because I always get skeptical on Easter of the like religious part of it, especially in a public school, but like these types of books are good, so maybe I'll have to go through these ones. I started thinking and maybe I'll put them with spring, because it is something that happens in the spring, and I don't want to put a whole thing on Easter because I definitely have other units that I want to make and have more purpose to them. But I also did find a bunch of books on weather, which is one of our huge units, so I'm excited about that. Okay, so one of the themes that they do in kindergarten is like rules and responsibilities and being a part of a community. And so there's like all of these little books on firefighters and stuff like that, and I know that's a classic unit, and like going to the dentist, this is what I grew up on, Mercer Mayers. So I don't really know where these are gonna fit in though, because it's not back to school, but it's happening at the same time, so that's like a lot. So this is definitely just gonna go on the shelf as community, and I will pull from them and show them where they are, but I'm not gonna, put a lot out there, because some of them look a little dated. But we'll see. Okay, I have successfully cleared out 4 of the tubs. I have piles going of seasoned type books. And I had said I wanted all of the books out, but there's really not the reality of that happening because I have so many that would have to stay out anyways, like browsing books. And so My goal is, I think I have this filing cabinet here that doesn't have anything in it, and I'm kind of tied to it and don't really want to lose it, because sometimes here when you get rid of furniture, you can never give it back. So I had this idea just now that maybe I figure out a way to organize these books in the filing cabinet drawer by month that I would use them, and put dividers in between them. That way they're organized enough that I don't have to go like really searching for them, but they're also not in totes, because first of all, there's no place to put these totes. And so I think that's my thought process. I don't want to pick them all up now, because I also have, like I keep saying, all of these books that are not going to live there on the shelves. So I have to go through those and kind of divvy them up and figure out which ones would stay out and which ones wouldn't. And then I'm looking now, and I just found 3 more baskets of books. And so gotta go through those. I'm very grateful of all these books, because I was nervous coming down to K from 5th grade. And we're really lucky here at the school, because when I moved into this school for 4th and 5th grade, I was really nervous that I wasn't gonna have any classroom library. And so I had spent the summer at Goodwill finding books. And luckily our Title I funds, as well as our PTO, provided us with some books, which was awesome. And so yeah, I'm very sweaty. It's not as hot as I thought it was going to be. I have an entire basket of books to donate, which I'm really excited about, to put them in the hands of people who will need them. I can't decide if I want to put them out for kids, or I might just bring them to Goodwill, because it will be so much easier to get rid of them. So yeah. All right, I keep talking about these baskets. I'm definitely gonna probably reuse them, but this one just has like leveled readers that they can read themselves. I think this is transportation, more transportation. These are math books. We got a bunch of these at the end of the year, and each kid was able to get one, but this is a set of them, which will be good to pull from math, but I'm like, I could put these somewhere for math. So bunch of math, ocean, and this looks like ocean. Oh, cute. Which we'll go with environment. This looks like farm. Pigeon, this is all like the pigeon books. Fly guy, I'm guessing, because that's what this is. More farm. And oh, cute. I actually want these as like part of my teaching mentor text. I don't really know what this theme is. Looks like character traits, maybe? Yeah, looks like bravery and stuff like that. There are some really, really good books in there. I'm excited for this basket. There's a lot of good mentor text in that basket. So something that I used, oh my god, just joking, there's a giant hornet in the corner. You guys are gonna stay over there, because I'm not getting this hornet. It is huge. It's staring at me. Oh my god. Okay. I'm rethinking this now. This might be the end of my day. I'm gonna go around. Okay, I don't know where that came from, but abort. I cannot. It's like not your typical hornet. It is huge. It's basically black. And that might be the end of my day, because now that I know it's here, I'm out. Your girl's out.